I think that would be great. And we'll try and be mindful of the folks who are still dropping in, and just wanted to let everyone know also that we're going to record this session so that the people that were unable to join us tonight will be able to access this information later on down the road. But thank you for joining us. My name is Ryan Cummins. I represent the Alternative Programs and Support Department for the Norwalk-La Mirada School District. And we're very pleased to be here because of the strides that the team that you're going to hear from tonight made last year in getting this program off the ground. So what we're going to discuss tonight is the second cohort of students coming in. And I believe we have some students here who are currently in the cohort who you'll be hearing from, and all their smiling faces. And I'm sure all nothing but great things about the program you're going to hear. But as we move forward tonight, we just want to thank you for being here and for taking the time. We wish that we had the capacity to meet in person. Unfortunately, this is the second year in a row we've had to do this meeting virtually, but we did have a full cohort of freshmen this year, and we anticipate that we're going to have as much interest coming in for the students next year. So to our students who are here with us now, you're going to be the big dogs on campus in this program next year, because you'll be the sophomores, you'll know everything, you'll have all this expertise. So we're definitely going to tap into that. I would like to introduce a couple folks. First, just from our school district, is Dr. Patricio Vargas, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, who's joining us tonight.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see that we have 46 attendees. So that is really great. I mean, and really exciting to see these many students actually ready to sign up. And so Mrs. McKinley, Colleen McKinley from Cerritos, she's joining us. So she's going to have 2 classes, I guess, 2 or 3. So this is really great to see this excitement. My daughter herself, I mean, she's a sophomore and she's looking into these possibilities. So to actually see our students see the possibilities and see our parents interested, this is really, really exciting. So thank you for presenting this. Thank you for the opportunity to Cerritos College, for the partnership that we have, and for our parents, I mean, take advantage of these opportunities. This is a great opportunity. So thank you, Dr. Olea, for having us all.
And that's a great segue to my partner in crime, Colleen McKinley from Cerritos College. And Colleen, I'll toss it to you to say a few words as well. I think you're on mute there. The old Zoom strikes again.
You think after 2 years of virtual, I would do that. So thanks so much, Ryan and Dr. Vargas, for your kind words. Good evening, everyone. My name is Colleen McKinley, and I'm the Director of Educational Partnerships and Programs at Cerritos College. So I've had the privilege to plan the early college program with our Norwalk High School partners, and it truly has been an amazing venture. To see students from the program here with us tonight is just, makes it come full circle. And I'm excited to talk about this opportunity for the next cohort of students. Our president and superintendent, Dr. Fierro, our executive cabinet and board of trustees are deeply committed to college opportunities for high school students. And I think several are attending the session today or plan to pop in at some point. So want to say hello to our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Rick Miranda, and trustees Marisa Perez and Zurich Lewis, who will be watching this evening as well. So thank you, and we're available for some questions. Happy to be here.
All right, thank you. So at this time, I'm going to toss it over to Ms. Crawford, and she's going to take it from here. So go for it, Vindy. And you're on mute too.
I know, you figure we would learn right now, but I had to make sure that I did the same thing Colleen did. So welcome everybody. My name is Bindi Crawford. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Norwalk High School. I work with Dr. Olea. I'm honored to have some of our current early college student program students here, as well as our teacher partner from Norwalk-La Mirada Unified School District, Ms. Valadez. So thank you everybody for being here. We are going to cover an amazing opportunity that we have for incoming 9th grade students through the early college program. And so what we're going to cover a little bit tonight are the program requirements and overview, some of the things to kind of introduce you to the program, let you know all of the exciting opportunities that it provides and the benefits of it, give you an idea of sample 9th grade schedule and a little bit of an overview of a 4-year schedule and how we've set things up for students to really enjoy the opportunity of taking college classes, as well as enjoying all of the fun and memorable experiences of high school while being on a high school campus. And then most importantly, we'll finish out the night by going over the application process and timelines. I do see some questions coming in the Q&A section. So if you do have questions, we hope to cover as much as we can in our presentation tonight. And so I ask that you just hold off on the Q&A just for a second. You can go ahead and put it in the question. We'll just wait to respond. Hopefully we'll answer a lot of your questions throughout the presentation, but if not, we do have some wonderful monitors of the Q&A that will try to keep up with live questions as well. So the program requirements include, this program is only open currently to current 8th grade students who will be incoming 9th grade students next year. It's really open for any students who reside both inside Norwalk-La Mirada Unified School District boundaries and outside boundaries. So it doesn't really matter where you go to middle school. The program is open to anyone who is interested. All we ask that you do is complete an application, which we'll go over, and submit it by February 18th. Out of all of our applicants, and we did receive quite a few applications last year, we will select 30 students. Our application committee will select 30 students to participate in the incoming 9th grade course. The program will begin August 2022, and one of the reasons for that is, and you'll see on the schedule, is students will take a course before our high school session starts, Counseling 100 or College 100. Before in the first week of August, and then selected students that are entered into the program will enroll and attend school at Norwalk High School, as the program is housed here for the entire district. The program really is open to anyone that's interested. We're looking for someone who wants to focus on taking college classes. This is really for a student who hasn't quite found their niche, or maybe they know they are ready for college classes or want to be challenged by taking college classes. Mr. Cummings and Ms. McKinley have done a wonderful job of articulating all of the college courses so that every course that you take throughout the college program would count towards your high school credits. So students are concurrently earning both college credits and earning credits towards their diploma. Every student will be A through G eligible. Graduate with a high school diploma and have at least 45 college transferable units, and every college course, and I'm really excited about this part, is transferable into the UC and or Cal State system. So in order to meet all three of those criteria, we had a really big team of people work really closely together for over a year and a half to plan out a program that's meaningful for your student and really packs a punch. So that to me is very exciting, that you can still experience all the cool things of going to the soccer field or football field or basketball court and seeing all the high school experiences, going to homecoming, prom, and yet still focus on your academics and still earn a lot of high school credits. One of the exciting things also is that our district will pay for all of the tuition costs through Cerritos College, and all of the textbooks are free. So not only is the tuition at no cost, really a student is just coming to Norwalk High School, the professor will come to Norwalk High School, the courses will be held here, and we'll go over the schedule in just a little bit. Parents, we get to save your wallets, a lot of money that you would typically pay for college. Students would still be able to apply for FAFSA loans, apply for grants, apply for scholarships. All of the experiences and opportunities that exist to all seniors would still be open to those students as well. The biggest benefit is you would concurrently get access to all of the amazing opportunities and services through Cerritos College, and Ms. McKinley can talk about some of those opportunities in a little bit, and you'll meet all of the requirements. Ms. McKinley, do you want to talk about just really quickly some of those opportunities that they can access at Cerritos College?
Yeah, absolutely. So while students are concurrently enrolled in high school and Cerritos, they're really within our system looked at as college students. So we have tutoring that's available both in person and online. They can get involved in student government. They can utilize really any service that we have at Cerritos College because they will be a Cerritos College Falcon as well as a Lancer.
I'm going to turn this over in a little bit to Ms. McKinley to kind of explain some of the nuts and bolts, but really not only is it the experience of taking college classes at an early age, which when we have students that are focused on getting college credits, but the amount of money that you save by taking advantage of the opportunity in this program can be just incredible, and in the tens of thousands of dollars out of savings when you count not only the tuition, the cost of housing that students may pay typically, but also the textbook costs. Ms. McKinley, do you want to cover some of the nuts and bolts of the program?
Absolutely. So as Ms. Crawford explained, all of the courses that were selected are CSU and UC transferable. And we followed something called Plan C, or the IGETC curriculum, which stands for Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum, which is a plan designed primarily for students who tend to transfer either to a UC or a CSU. And that doesn't mean that a student couldn't go out of state or go to a private school, but we just know that there's a guarantee that those courses will complete the general education requirements for CSU and UC. So students in the program during the 4 years will take those general education courses, and we'll be giving you a sample of what those look like. And when they're done, they're going to have a little over 45 transferable units to be applied to their degree when they are then a university student. And if you can go to the next slide. So one of the questions that we get a lot about the program is that what happens when the student is done? So they finish 9th through 12th grade, they have these 45 plus units. Does that mean that they're starting college as a junior? Does that mean that they're starting as a freshman? And so there's really two things that can happen. If students decide to go directly to a university, they are not a transfer student because they are a recent high school graduate, although the units that they have really puts them at junior level status. So students who go directly to a four-year college after graduating from Norwalk High School will earn what's called a GE certificate from Cerritos College, and that will be noted on their transcript. And the university may require some additional GE courses based on what their freshman requirements are, but for all intents and purposes, they are going to have those 45 units to be applied towards whatever degree and major that they select. A student can also opt to come to Cerritos College for at least a semester or any other community college. And then if they do that, they are considered a transfer student when going to the four-year college. And the benefit of that is that they apply as a transfer student, which means that they are not going through the same competitive pool that happens when they apply as a freshman. And they will earn what's called IGETC certification, which means as a transfer student, they will not have to take any general education units within that four-year degree and major that they are pursuing. Next slide.
Awesome. I'm actually going to call on Nayeli, Zadie, and Bianca. These are some of our wonderful student representatives that are currently in our inaugural class in the early college program, and they just finished their first ever or second ever college course, first ever semester course. So if one of you ladies would maybe explain how the scheduling worked, I would love to get your feedback on that to share with our parents.
Yeah, so basically, we have our early college program class first period So when we actually have the college class, it is 3 times a week, and we do meet at 7:45. So it's a little earlier than normal schedule. But yeah, you still have time to do everything else. And then on the days you don't have the college class, it's like a prep period. And Ms. Valdez does a great job to prepare you. And we have time to do our homework, and we get to collaborate with our other students if we're struggling in other classes. So it's a really fun time, even when you're not in the college class. So it's been really easy, and the help with the school has provided a lot of help for us as well.
Anyone else? That's okay. I'll put you on the spot later.
I have something to add.
Yeah.
With the prep period that Valdez has, it's a great way to meet people. I've met a lot of new people, and they're really great kids. Like, I love talking to them.
And that actually is a wonderful segue. So what we're trying to accomplish with the program is to really create that family environment and that cohort where 30 kids can start high school together, and maybe they know each other, or they don't know each other very well, but they end together as a family. And we do that and bring them together through really great academic opportunities where these college classes are factoring into their GPA. They count towards high school credits, and we can keep working towards making sure we fulfill their goals and our goals for them as parents. So what you'll see here on the screen is a typical schedule. And as Zadie was mentioning, our first class that we had this first semester, it did start a few minutes before the regular schedule for regular high school students, for the general population of our high school students. Generally, our school at Norwalk High School begins at 7:55, but this college course started at 7:45 to accommodate the number of credits that the course has in college. So depending on the credit count and the hours for the course, the start time will fluctuate. And that's why we really focus on the course being first period so that we can have students start early. The wonderful thing for you as parents is that you really get that high school parent drop-off experience. So you'll be dropping them off at Norwalk High School and picking them up from Norwalk High School, and really Cerritos College is coming to us. So this is a copy of a typical 9th grade schedule. And what you're not going to see, for those of you that have older students, is you are not going to see a world language that would typically be in a 9th grade schedule. The world language is part of the early college program, and they will take that later on in their high school career. And so this actually gives them an opportunity to take another elective that most students may not take. And so Bianca, what elective are you in?
I'm in leadership, which is
there you go. There's my ASB student right there. So that is experience that most students don't get to take with their class. And so I really love that they're able to access other parts of the college by having and being part of this program. So as we were talking about a 4-year schedule, we really are looking at the developmental ability of each student, their age. We are starting off slow. So the students had 1 class in the fall for their 9th grade year. They'll have 1 class in the spring, 9th grade this semester, which will start shortly. 10th grade will again start with a more difficult content course, but still keep it at 1 course. And come 10th grade, we'll be running at full speed where students will be taking 2 classes every semester. So we really want students who are committed, able to focus on the program and the courses, so that way we are able to meet their needs and be able to provide the support for them. And there is 1 summer course that they take between 10th and 11th grade in preparation for Spanish, just to maintain that all of the A through G IGETC credits.
All right, so I think this slide is mine. We wanted to just talk a little bit about how college is different than high school. So as I was saying, the students will be considered college students, which means everything that comes with that as well. So passing for a college class is a C or better. So credits are not earned if a student gets a grade lower than a C. Of course, time management between high school and college classes can be difficult, but it sounds like from our students, that extra time has been helpful in preparing. And so that is really good to hear. I think the other component is that college classes, there's less time in class and more time outside of class. And so while a typical high school class will be Monday through Friday, the reading class that the students took, I believe, was 3 days a week. And that class was designed to really kind of jumpstart them into getting ready to be more independent with their learning after they have their college lectures, and then will have coursework out. So as Ms. Crawford explained, there's going to be during the second semester of the sophomore year, they will be taking 2 college classes at the same time. And the way that they're able to do that is that there is one class maybe 2 days a week, another class another 2 days a week. Communication with their instructor is a little bit different when you're in college because of FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Cerritos College doesn't release students' education record without prior consent from the student, and that includes conversations with the faculty. There is a way for the student to sign off for their parent to be part of that, but generally, the students communicate directly with their faculty member and can bring their parent alongside of that, but they independently sort of navigate that college space differently than the high school space. So maybe if you don't mind me putting the students on the spot for some questions as well, would you say or note any other differences that you saw with your college class versus your high school classes?
I would say that emailing your professor was really important, and because of the communication with your grades and attendance as well, where at your regular high school, you could just go and talk to your teacher and ask them about your grades. So it was really great to just have to email our professor, and yeah.
We also got office hours, I think every other Wednesday. So that was a good time to actually talk to our professor and ask questions. So office hours was definitely helpful to ask any questions if you're confused.
Great. And it's amazing to me that all 3 of you took on your first year of high school and your first year of college at the same time. So kudos to you. I think you can go to the next slide.
All right, so let's get to the million-dollar question. How do I get in? Because we know you've already got you captured and we know you guys are excited. The application process, we've actually made it, try to make it as simple as possible. We did get feedback from our current class. The first initial application from last year was created by adults, and this one was created with a lot of feedback and just some minor tweaks to make it a little bit easier for students. The application is available online. It is currently online and will go live later on tonight at the conclusion of our meeting on our district website. I will show you how to get there as soon as we finish our presentation and kind of walk you through that. And I believe, Mr. Cummings, are we working on getting a widget on the front page, or is it there already?
There's no widget, but if it would be helpful, I could post a direct link to the website in the chat.
That would be absolutely wonderful.
And I'll do that right now.
There is a direct widget from the Norwalk High School website to the website and the web page regarding dual enrollment. But if you are looking to go, and I'll show you later on, district website, go into the departments tab, and it'll be under the alternate education department. That's Mr. Cummings' department. The application process asks for your demographic info, your name, contact information so that we can contact you. And there's 2 main prompts that we would like for you to answer. And the first one is, why do you want to join the early college program? We want to know your why. And the second one is, tell us about your academic experience and preparation for the program. Both questions are very broad on purpose. There is no correct answer. The correct answer is the right answer for each applicant. Sometimes we get some questions like, well, how long should the answer be? There is not a limit. We want you to be short enough to get your response out in a succinct manner, but long enough to give us an idea of who you are and what your personality is. The final component of the application is more of a Google Doc, but we're calling it a letter of recommendation. Within the application, you're going to find a link for a online letter of recommendation that you can give to any adult that knows your student well. We're looking at counselors, teachers, people that are involved in your life, and they can be in and out of school, and share that link with them. And they will put your name, and we'll tie that recommendation, that Google form, back to your application. So again, fairly simple in the idea that we want you to focus on the two main questions and then contact information. I'll show you how to get there in a little bit. Some of the criteria for consideration that the interview panel looks at, and our panel last year was made up of a diverse group of educators and adults. We had counselors from the middle school and high school. We had staff, administration from the middle school. We had different teachers that are on and off our campus. And some of the criteria they were looking at, and this is not in the order that they're looking at, it's actually no specific order, would be things like GPA in 8th grade, attendance. Of course, you can't control that with the pandemic if you're quarantined. So we will be looking at that a little bit differently. Their application and the content of the application, any feedback from any recommendation letters they're able to provide. And if I haven't mentioned it already, the recommendation letter is actually not a requirement of the application. It's just a request of the application. And then we'll be looking at citizenship and conduct of each applicant as well. From our student panelists, do you guys remember when you guys applied and you were filling it out? Do you have any feedback for how you prepared for your application?
I do remember. I remember being in a Zoom meeting like this and looking at the presentation, but I really just recommend having maybe other people read it over and make sure there's no mistakes, and make sure to get that letter of recommendation. I think also really helps, and getting it from somebody that knows you and can make your personality shine through.
Awesome. Anything from Bianca or Nayeli? Are you guys good? All right, we'll keep going. So let's talk timelines and how we plan to work from now until August when we kick off our first course. We'll take applications. They're due, again, we'll close the application, the online application, on February 18th. They'll be open as soon as we're done tonight. We will review, our staff will review applications and conduct interviews in March and April 2022. And we plan on notifying students we're hoping to go before spring break, but if not, just after spring break, with a parent meeting that will be held in early May to start the onboarding process with Cerritos College and the application process and all the things that we need to officially make them Cerritos College students and enroll them in the summer class. So doesn't feel like very long, but it will go by very, very quickly. And we want to do all of this within the next semester. And I know we've been answering questions in the Q&A the entire time, but if you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A now. I can actually answer them live. Mr. Cummings, I can answer that question live if you want to. The question is, who can the recommendation letter be from? And really, it's anyone that knows the applicant. Anyone that can talk about character statements, their tenacity, their grit, and has seen them really work in both in and out of the classroom. There's not a limit to it. It's very open. Any other questions? Bianca, I'm going to call on you real quick. What is one of your favorite things about the program so far?
I think one of my favorite things about the program so far is just being able to experience the college class itself and how challenging it could have been when it was really easy and I was able to progress and improve my vocabulary because the class was reading 101 and I had learned, I believe, 200 new words.
That's awesome. Nayeli, what's your favorite experience so far?
My favorite experience would probably be the overall the course of Reading 101. The professor was really nice. She really wanted us to succeed. In the beginning of class, she would play motivational videos and we would write what we got from it. And it really made me have a different look on life.
Oh, I love it. One of the questions that's being asked is, and this is a really important one. So Ms. Gomez, thank you for asking this question. It's really, your student is thinking about joining a sport and will it cause any issues? I can't give you a definite answer. We just are looking for someone to give the priority commitment to the early college program. Some sports take more time than other sports. The levels are different, the commitments are different. And so as long as the student is able to prioritize the early college program and their academics, that's really what we're looking for.
Ms. Crawford, maybe if you wouldn't mind me asking the students a question. Something that I failed to mention is that they also have access to a college counselor. The summer prior to the 9th grade year, there's a 1-week class, the Counseling 101A class that was mentioned earlier. And then during their attendance in the program, they've been added to a Cerritos College Canvas course where they can interact with some of the materials from that class and speak with the counselor there as well. So early on, since we're one class in, you may not, students have had a need to talk to the counselor, but as things go on, there is a future possibility that if a student wants to take major specific classes, they would be able to earn an AA degree at the same time that they graduate. So the reason that these are all general education classes is that it would fit any major, but then as students see that they might want to study psychology or be a history major, then they could work with the college counselor and map out a plan to take those additional courses either after school or summers or something like that. So students, I don't know if you have done any interacting with the college counselor yet, and if so, maybe you could share about that. It might be a little early to do that yet.
I can just say, hi, Ms. Valadez. I work with the students in the morning during their study period. We have a couple of students who are currently taking, currently now will start in February, the music major, like they're working towards that. So they met with their college counselor at Cerritos and they created a pathway so that they can graduate with an AA in with the music one, the 3. So we do have a couple of students and I just wanna, just remind them that all those extra Cerritos classes are also free. And so they can take those additional classes as well free of charge.
Yep, that's a great point. I think the other thing that, we showed the possibles, the draft schedule there, but, some of those numbers don't really stand out if you haven't been in college classes for a while. Every different, college names them differently, but students are going to be taking their history of rock and roll class for a second semester. So that's another type of a class that you don't necessarily have the opportunity to take while you're in high school. They're taking psychology, poli-sci, earth science, that we're going to explore different options for the different earth science classes that we have. So, in addition to them fitting into their regular high school courses, there are some really cool content classes that they're going to get to experience as well.
And I'm going to jump into the next question regarding GPA. And so just pertaining to the application, I mean, obviously we want to see some record of some academic success on the part of our students, but having straight A's is not a criteria to be accepted into this program. And we understand that particularly over the past 2 years, students have faced a lot of challenges. So for us in this application process, we really just want to see that the students are going to commit themselves to this program, that they have exhibited some skills with time management, and that this is something that they're excited about. So, the straight A student, obviously that's great. And we definitely celebrate that, but that is not a criteria to be accepted into this program. And just as an aside, I wanted to say we've been through so much time in planning this program for the past 2 years. And just the fact that we actually see students that are real and they're in the program is for me, I just feel very proud of them. And I appreciate the fact that they've stuck with it, again, with everything that's been going on. So it's pretty cool to go through all the planning with all the staff and then see the students that are actually doing it, and they're doing it well. So you know, it's something that I think they could speak to too, is just having those time management skills, being dedicated to the program. All of those things are going to work in your favor in the application process. And then the next question, yeah, and I think Ms. McKinley kind of touched on that as well. Students can take AP classes, but keep in mind that some of our courses that the students take for dual enrollment can kind of take the place of AP courses. And I know that can be a touchy subject sometimes with some of our AP teachers, but if you're going to be taking a lot of college courses, you don't necessarily need to take those AP classes. You still can, but again, it kind of comes back to that time management. Your students may want to be participating in sports and band and other activities as well. We want to encourage that, but it's really important for them to get those skills down so that they can make sure that they're not stressed out, that they can balance and have a good combination of life and maybe some fun. You know, they are in high school still, even though they're taking these college classes. So our goal is to provide something that allows students to still be well-rounded and have a great experience overall.
And Ryan, if you don't mind me adding to that with the AP classes, I wanted to mention that the college credit is earned when the course is passed, where AP classes, you take the class and there's a test at the end. And depending on the grade that the student gets on the test, a university may or may not accept that AP credit. But for every one of these transfer classes, we already have that agreement with CSU and UC, and so they will count. There is no test at the end that will determine if they get that credit. We often also get questions from parents about, well, when we're applying to those four-year colleges, I want them to be competitive. So is it better for a student to take an AP class? And one of the counselors that we work with in a partner district is a UC reader. So she is, involved in actually screening applications, and they are trained to look at dual enrollment and AP as the same. So I think what's important is that if you think about it as they're looking through applications, a student who is able to complete 2 years of general education units while in high school is a pretty good pick for the college. They have already proven themselves to be college ready, college prepared. And so, I wouldn't worry about which one would be better. I think if this path is something that your student is interested in, it's not for everyone. The balance is an important component to it, but it is an amazing opportunity for the student that's motivated to do it. And I'm really glad to hear from you all today that you have your own community that will be going through this four-year process together. And thank you, Ms. Valadez, for being along with them on that journey every day.
So I want to take a quick moment. I'm going to share my screen again. I just want to walk you through how to get to the application from the district website. So I'm going to share my screen once again. All right, so this is our district website, and you'll see a lot of widgets on the left and the right that are pertinent information that's really relevant to the district. Mr. Cummings runs our alternative education site. So if you go to the tabs right here across and you click on departments, this is the alternative programs and support. And the early college program is run out of the dual enrollment department. So I'll click there, and here is really all of our information. We're actually recording tonight, so we'll have this available on the website as soon as we update it. This is the flyer that those in our surrounding areas were mailed out several weeks ago. And here at the bottom is our application to actually start it. And then when we open it up, you'll see that it's right there. So we're not ready just quite yet. Give us a little bit until our Spanish speaking one opens up as well, but it will be open up by tonight. So I just wanted to show you how it's there. It's also on our Norwalk High School page, and there is a widget there that you can access as well, just to make it a little bit easier. With that, Mr. Cummings, would you like to close us out for the evening?
Yeah, I mean, we'll stick around if there are other questions that people want to ask still. We'll try and get everybody's questions answered, but I appreciate your time, parents, for being here tonight. I appreciate our teachers who are here, our counselors, all of the Norwalk High School administrators who are already burning the candle at both ends. I appreciate your presence here tonight. And I definitely, thanks, Dr. Vargas, same things. And our students, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your voice and for advocating for this program. And I can't wait for the next 3.5 years until we'll have to get you a cool sash when you graduate so that we know, these are our early college students and they're getting recognized for that. So thank you to everyone who's been here tonight, and we'll stick around and try and answer a few more questions if they come up.
Thank you. Have a good night.